The Mispresented Gospel, Season 5, African Christianity and Identity, voiced by AI4 and produced by Rhema Auditorium, a digital chapel episode. 1. Christianity comes to Africa. Missions and Colonies Africa, the cradle of humanity, the keeper of ancient wisdom, the wellspring of civilization. Long before colonial ships sailed its coasts, long before European missionaries first set foot on its shores, the gospel had already found its deep, enduring roots here. For centuries, Africa was not merely a recipient of the Christian faith, but a foundational pillar of its very existence. Think of Egypt, the land of the Pharaohs, which became a vibrant hub of early Christian thought, Ethiopia, one of the first nations in the world to embrace Christianity as a state religion in the 4th century. Nubia, with its powerful Christian kingdoms that thrived for over 1,000 years. These were among the first nations to hear of Christ, to embrace his message, and to weave it into the very fabric of their societies. When European missionaries arrived much later in the 18th and 19th centuries, they often came with a belief that they were bringing light to a continent steeped in darkness. But the light had already been lit in places like Alexandria, where brilliant African theologians such as Clement and Origen of Alexandria shaped the doctrines and philosophical underpinnings of the universal church. Long before Europe fully embraced Christianity, Africa's contribution to early Christian theology is profound, undeniable, and often, tragically, overlooked. Then came the 19th century, marking a dramatic new chapter. Powerful missionary movements from Europe expanded with unprecedented vigor. Giants like the Church Missionary Society, CMS, the White Fathers, and the Puritans began to establish their presence across vast swathes of the African continent. They set up schools that would educate generations, hospitals that brought much-needed health care, and churches that reshaped the spiritual landscape. In Kenya, this wave arrived with figures like Johann Ludwig Krapf, who first sighted Mount Kenya, and later the ill-fated Bishop James Hannington and Arthur Ruffle Barlow. These pioneers planted the first seeds of modern institutional Christianity, laying the groundwork for many of the churches we see today. The missionaries undeniably brought education, literacy, and the Holy Bible, opening new worlds of knowledge. But hand in hand with this light came European culture, European control, and European perspectives. Christianity and colonialism, for better or worse, walked in lockstep. This era presented a dichotomy, an offer of salvation intertwined with a challenge to indigenous identity. Some Africans, seeing the benefits and finding genuine spiritual connection, accepted it. Others, feeling the imposition and the erosion of their own rich heritage, quietly and sometimes overtly resisted. What began as a foreign mission, carefully guided and controlled from distant European capitals, soon began to transform into something far more organic and powerful, an indigenous movement. Africans, now equipped with literacy, began to read the scriptures for themselves, and in doing so, they realized a liberating truth that God could indeed speak, and speak profoundly in their own tongue, through their own cultural lens, and directly to their own hearts. This realization sparked a quiet revolution, a movement for spiritual self-determination that would redefine the face of African Christianity forever. This series, The Misrepresented Gospel, Season 5, African Christianity and Identity, is proudly produced by Rhema Auditorium, a digital chapel committed to inspiring generations through truth, history, and the unchanging Word of God. For prayers, support, and partnership, you can reach us, call, text, +254 725 392902, +254 737 316E6. Find us or Rhema Auditorium on all social media platforms.